evening, everyone. I'm Tammy Fields. Here are your top stories and weather in 90 seconds. We begin with breaking news. We know a small plane has crashed off an airstrip on Maytown Road in Oak Hill in Volusia County. Sky 13 is headed there. Volusia County Sheriff's deputies are on the scene. They say only the pilot was on board, and that pilot was taken to a nearby hospital. 5 more buildings in Volusia County are now deemed safe after Hurricane Nicole. Sanibel Condominium, the Sherwin Condominium, Las Brisas Condominiums, the Seacoast Gardens, and the Holiday Inn Express can all reopen its doors. The chief building official and structural engineers removed the unsafe building notices this afternoon. We're hoping that it is all systems go tonight. We're counting down to the next launch attempt for Artemis 1. Storms and engine issues repeatedly pushed the date back. The launch window opens up at 1:04 a.m. Let's check in right now with certified chief meteorologist Brian Carrick about how the weather's looking for that launch.
Tammy, well, it looks good. 90% go weather-wise, but the clouds, well, they're going to actually keep most of us from seeing tonight's launch, unless you're over toward Brevard County, and you'll have an opportunity. But inland doesn't look so hot as far as the visibility is concerned, thanks to our thick clouds. There's clouds squeezing out, very light shower right now, just to the northeast of Andalusia, west of Palm Coast. The rest of us, just plenty of clouds. We are looking at mostly cloudy skies, 70s through 11 o'clock. Notice as we get you into Wednesday, between 75 in Ocala and 85 in Palm Bay, a couple of isolated showers, a cold front sweeping in, and that cold front means business.
Almost 1 week since Hurricane Nicole, and people are still coming to terms with the damage and the destruction left behind. Today, a new round of buildings deemed safe in Volusia County, bringing relief to many who call beachside home. Still, many homeowners forced to stay away. Some already know they are going to have to rebuild or move. We continue our team coverage tonight. Our Jeff Allen is in Orla Vista, where homeowners are supposed to get some news tonight about flooding solutions. Asher Wildman is live in New Smyrna Beach for us, though. That's where we start with a closer look at how to rebuild on the coast. Asher.
Tammy, good evening. This is the current status of the Seacoast Garden seawall. It is leaning. You can see a lot of fill is missing. But I want to show you something. This is also the current status of their sun deck. But let's show you before and after. Take a look at this. This is what it used to look like before both Hurricane Ian and Nicole, this area. This area not only full with fill and grass, but a seawall that was in fact intact. But now this community trying to put the pieces back together once again. There's more than just people missing at the Seacoast Gardens Phase 2 condominiums. The beach, a portion of a seawall, and a sun deck gone.
The Seacoast 2 was the one that was evacuated, and eventually the city had condemned.
Trying to put it all back together again is HOA President Greg Franson.
The wall is back in place temporarily, and we're securing local contractors right now.
Before this storm season, this is what the beach and the views from his balcony looked like. The views following Nicole, you can see, are no longer the same. The beach is missing, and the ocean now slamming into the building's seawall.
Even at high tide, you'll see 30 or 40 feet worth of tents right up here, and people enjoying the beach, right, even at high tide. And so now here we're at high tide, you can actually feel the waves pounding against the seawall.
The challenge for not only Greg, but several others along A1A in New Smyrna is putting it all back together again. A challenge new city mayor Fred Cleveland will have to help navigate.
More storms are coming. That day is going to come. Simply to rebuild to today's standards doesn't make sense to me.
The hope is the mission to put this beach town back together will be a joint effort.
And we will be getting our fair share. Governor DeSantis has been here, and we will go as a group of cities to the governor, to the county, to our representatives to get funding.
As for Greg and his neighbors expecting to move back in Tuesday,
it hasn't taken the spirits from our community.
Nearly $50 million worth of damages were caused to condominiums in this beach town, and the price to put everything back together again will not be cheap or quick.
I haven't heard anyone say that they're leaving on account of this. We're rolling up our sleeves. We're going to take this, and we're going to come out stronger on the back end of this.
The city and Greg are ready to act fast. The hope is other agencies will as well. especially before next year's hurricane season. You can see a portion of this wall behind me completely destroyed. The process, okay, just to get this up and running again from start to finish could take 2 years. Think about it. You need city permits. You need an engineer plan. You need the Army Corps of Engineers to come in here. You also need the Florida Department of Environmental Protection to come in here. And to make matters worse, you got to figure out how to pay for it. This community responsible for their portion of the wall, 535 feet at $3,000 a foot for concrete. And to get this work done, they're looking at spending well over $1.5 million. Reporting live in New Smyrna Beach, Asher Wildman for Spectrum News.
Wow, Asher, thank you. Tonight, Orange County leaders will meet with homeowners in the Orla Vista community to update them on county efforts to mitigate flooding after once again they experienced flooding during Hurricane Ian and Nicole. County leaders promised changes after Hurricane Irma caused damage and the rescue of hundreds of people. Spectrum News 13's Jeff Allen is live in Orla Vista tonight, where, Jeff, you spoke with homeowners who are still cleaning up from Hurricane Ian 6 weeks ago.
In fact, out in front of many homes here in Orla Vista, they have furniture like this, other items that have been damaged and destroyed from flooding back during Hurricane Ian, even before Hurricane Nicole. And while some people here say they've had enough, they're fed up, they want to move out of here, homeowners like a guy who we talked with right here say they're doing the repairs they need. They're trying to stick it out so they can still live in this community that they love, but they're really looking for more help from Orange County.
Frank Tagarello spends a lot of the time he's not working at his job, working on his home.
Look at that soft spot.
He's in the process of ripping out flooring, soggy from floodwaters that rushed into his home during Hurricane Ian.
It's the worst. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. It's so aggravating. I can't even begin to describe.
Tagarello wants to stay in Orla Vista. He moved here for a reason.
I chose to come up here because the crime rate down there is about 10 times worse.
Yeah, so now you're dealing with this stuff.
But now I'm dealing with the weather, which the last time they had a storm like Ian was 100 years. So, of course, I'm not exactly good with odds, I guess.
Since Irma, Orange County began work to deepen area retention ponds, improve pump capacity, and expand their ability to monitor the rise of floodwater during storms. They've begun that work, but the increase in construction costs have delayed it. From new flooring to his own drainage system now installed around his house, Tagarello says he'll have to pay for about a third of the $100,000 in repairs from Ian that insurance won't cover. Now he just wants the county to do their part, including regular maintenance of drainage ditches.
You got to maintain these so that this way water flows out and it can get to the retention ponds. If it doesn't, it goes this way right into somebody's house.
Until improvements are made, he's not giving up on his home.
I guarantee you we're going to get it back looking more beautiful than ever.
Now, Orange County Public Works and other county leaders, they are meeting with Orla Vista residents at 6 o'clock tonight here at the Orla Vista Chamber of Commerce, not far from here. They're expected to lay out a timeline of when they're going to resume more of that flood mitigation work that they've already started so they can safeguard this area from future flooding. We'll be at that meeting and we'll give you any major updates that come from it later tonight. Reporting live in Orla Vista in Orange County, Jeff Allen, Spectrum News.
Thank you, Jeff. Well, you can keep up with the latest post-storm assessments on the free Spectrum News app. Be sure to download it and enable the weather alerts function, and you can set which alerts to receive. It's available now for you in the App Store or Google Play. Former President Donald Trump is expected to make a major announcement later tonight. We're taking a look at the room where it is expected to happen. So keep it here for that. But we're also talking about this beautiful warm weather and whether some changes are headed our way. Right?
Warm today, Tammy. Warm again tomorrow, but get your boots ready.
All right.
Yeah, we have boots weather. Temperatures in the 60s, below average temperatures for several days. Plus, we are discussing rain chances as well. We'll give you a look at a couple of sprinkles on Questron 13 coming up.
Central Florida is a community where people quickly become connected with one another.
When you watch your evening news, you'll see a reflection of yourself, your issues, your neighborhood.
And I hope by seeing our stories, people become better informed and inspired to be involved in our communities.
We're stronger together, and I feel lucky to be able to call this home. Join us for your evening news on Spectrum News 13 and on the Spectrum News app.
So, I thought you guys were built for business. This network solution doesn't feel like it works for mine.
That's accurate. Yeah. Accurate. You're just gonna have to accept it.
Yeah, accept it.
Yeah.
We get it.
That's what I said.
At Spectrum Enterprise, we design solutions around your needs for success on your terms. Because we believe technology only works if it works for you. So go ahead. Be unreasonable.
When I never graduated from high school, I realized I wanted to go back to school because I didn't want to work these back-breaking jobs the rest of my life. With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed to come back to school. I felt accomplished, made me feel that I could take on whatever challenges life throws at you.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Sugar triggers the release of dopamine, the chemical closely linked to pleasure in the brain.
So you're saying sugar is a drug?
In essence, sugar is just pure calories that does not supply any nutritive value to our body.
Colon cancer in patients under the age of 50 is projected to rise over 100%, within the next decade.
I don't think that it's ever too late to create healthy habits.
Exploring Your Health, available on the Spectrum News app.
It is 5:11 on a Tuesday. I'm Brian Carrick with Zach Covey. We have been watching plenty of clouds today. A few peaks of sunshine. At times the sun kind of filtered through a veil of clouds and even squeezed out a couple of showers up in Marion County, Flagler County, northern Volusia County. Right now, a live shot here from our listed.com cam in Sanford showing us some thicker cloud cover, a little bit of sunshine. But in 20 minutes, that sun will get down below the horizon. And temperatures, by the way, they are still mild. Even with the cloud cover today, we managed the upper 70s and lower 80s, an above average day. Right now from 75 at Palm Coast to 78 in Kissimmee, 79 Melbourne, and down in Lakeland. Let's take you up to Flagler County where we have a little light shower activity. Again, most of what we've been seeing today on Kleinstrom 13 has had a tough time reaching the ground, but we've had a few very light showers across Marion County, and now we've got a little moderate bursts right over Old Kings Road North here at Palm Coast and crossing North Ocean Shore Boulevard. Yeah, this is going to be passing by quickly, just enough to kind of wet down the pavement and then move on. So as we take you through the overnight, most of us will stay rain-free, but plenty of clouds. Now, over at the Cape, the launch is lit after 1, the Artemis, and it looks like everything is fine weather-wise at the Cape. The clouds might play a bit of a role, but the clouds will definitely play a role inland, and the opportunity to see the Artemis is going to be very tough. Most of us dealing with a mostly cloudy sky in the wee hours of Wednesday morning. This is all ahead of a front. Cold front starts pushing toward Marion County tomorrow morning. 3:30, a couple of spotty showers. Notice as we get you through 6 o'clock, Palm Coast, and all the way down toward the green swamp of southern Sumter County. A couple of spotty showers here and there. 8:30, I-4 corridor, maybe a couple of sprinkles. No thunderstorms, no widespread rain expected, but notice even by 1:30, 3:30, 4 o'clock, dealing with a few passing showers here in Osceola and in Brevard County. So again, overnight, mostly cloudy, isolated shower threat late. Temperatures in the upper 60s. A mostly cloudy Wednesday, couple peaks of sunshine ahead of the front. That isolated shower threat at 20%, 82. Notice the weekend ahead, though. Temperatures going to hover close to 70 degrees. Tammy, from Thursday right into the first part of next week, temperatures are going to be well below average for a change.
All right, it's feeling more like fall.
Yep, it definitely will be.
Thank you, Brian. Well, former President Donald Trump is expected to announce his third run for the White House tonight. Mr. Trump teased a very big announcement from his Mar-a-Lago resort. Spectrum News 13's Holly Gregory is there. She begins our team coverage at 5 and the different feels surrounding this announcement.
I'm here in the ballroom of Mar-a-Lago in West Palm Beach, and you can see that the stage is all set for the former president to come out tonight. On either side of the stage, you have those Make America Great Again signs, and it is widely expected that Donald Trump is going to come out tonight and say that he is running for the White House for a third time, barring any big surprises. That's the expectation. But it's not quite the atmosphere that he was hoping for this announcement here tonight, and that is all because of the midterms. His candidates did not do what he hoped that they would do. Most recently, the race for Arizona governor, Kari Lake, a big ally of his, now projected to lose. And what you have, instead of riding a red wave, is finger pointing now within the Republican Party. You're starting to hear from Republicans who are putting the blame squarely on Trump, saying that he never should have come out a couple of days before the election and said that he was going to be making this big announcement, that scared off independents, that it drove out Democrats to vote and killed effectively the red wave. So there's finger pointing in his direction. Trump is pointing the finger of blame back at Senator Mitch McConnell and saying he didn't support those candidates. So you've got this GOP chaos now that he is about to step in the middle of tonight. And again, the anticipation is he's going to announce that run. Surprises could always happen, but he still has that core base of support that sticks with him. The question is, have the last couple of elections made it obvious that that doesn't work out mathematically for him? There's not enough people there to make up for the independents and the moderates who just want to return to quiet, no more name calling, no more drama. That's what he has to overcome, and there are some doubts that he'll be able to do that. So we'll see exactly what this announcement is tonight. I'll be here at Mar-a-Lago for it at 9 o'clock. Reporting on scene from West Palm Beach, Holly Gregory, Spectrum News.
Ahead of Mr. Trump's announcement this evening, Governor Ron DeSantis is reacting to the former president's attack, says rumors swirl that the governor could possibly also make a run for the White House. Spectrum News 13's Jason Delgado live for us tonight in the capital city of Tallahassee, continuing our team coverage with the governor. Jason.
Tammy, good evening. The radio silence here in Tallahassee is over. Governor Ron DeSantis tonight finally addressing that verbal attack by former President Donald Trump. You could call it the shot heard around the nation. DeSantis taking fire from Trump after a historic election night performance in Florida. Trump in a statement attacking DeSantis, labeling him disloyal and worse for not batting down rumors about a 2024 presidential bid. DeSantis went notably quiet after the attack until today. Speaking in the Panhandle, DeSantis described the moment as nothing more than political arrows. This is yet another political escalation between the pair. DeSantis is a rising GOP star within reach of the White House. Trump, meanwhile, expected to announce his candidacy tonight. Trump rolled out a new nickname for DeSantis in early November, but it wasn't until today that DeSantis indirectly responded.
We're winning big, big, big in the Republican Party for the nomination like nobody's ever seen before. Let's see, there it is, Trump at 71, Ron DeSanctimonious at 10%.
You know, one of the things I've learned in this job is when you're leading, when you're getting things done, yeah, you take incoming fire. That's just the nature of it.
At no point today did DeSantis mention Trump by name. In fact, he hardly mentioned Trump at all on the campaign trail. Now, keep in mind that DeSantis' biggest obstacle going into 2024 is former President Donald Trump. In Tallahassee, Jason Delgado, Spectrum News.
Be sure to join us for live team coverage tonight of former President Donald Trump's special announcement. Our Sharon Tazwell is joining Chief National Political Reporter Josh Robin, Washington, D.C. reporter Rena Diamante, and Holly Gregory, who is in Mar-a-Lago for the big announcement. Join us as we kick things off just before the announcement set for 9 o'clock.
Here at the Festival of Trees, you have small ones, you have huge ones, you have wreaths and gingerbread houses, all designer inspired. I'm Allison Walker. We discovered the story, though, behind the very first tree you're gonna see when you walk into the Rotunda. We're taking you on the town.
Spectrum News 13 is brought to you by Fields BMW. Happy holidays from our family to yours.
Here are your winning lottery numbers.
Central Florida Beyond the Soundbite, a Spectrum News 13 podcast that offers a closer look inside the issues, available now on the Spectrum News app.
Stay connected on the go with the Spectrum News app. Watch your trusted Spectrum News 13 team live wherever you are and stay updated on the local news and weather forecasts that matter to you. Spectrum News, your community connection. Available on the App Store and Google Play.
Central Florida is my home. I grew up here. In our podcast, Central Florida Beyond the Soundbite, Greg Angel, Gary Darling, and I sit down with people creating change and finding solutions.
Central Florida Beyond the Soundbite. Available on the Spectrum News app.
Hey man, are you Alpocalypse 423?
Yeah.
What's the deal? You got me running all over the place day and night.
Oh, I have Spectrum now. Fastest Wi-Fi speeds around.
Oh, that's cool. How about we just pump the brakes though, now and again? This thing's like 2,000 pounds. You want to hold it?
Yes, I do.
Well, you can't, because it'll whip your arms right out of your body. And then how are you going to play your game?
I'm sorry, it's just really, really fast.
What if I just split your house in half with my Warhammer?
It still works out here, so it's pointless.
Spectrum One delivers the fastest Wi-Fi speeds in the nation. That's game-changing speed. That's Spectrum One.
Okay, Dad. 1, 2, 3. You saved me. Dad?
Are you okay?
I'm fine, dear.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving.
This hurricane season, stay informed and prepared with the Spectrum News app. Get up-to-the-minute information from your weather experts, live Clystron 13 radar, and set up essential alerts when you need them most. Spectrum News, your community connection. Available on the App Store and Google Play. And the Spectrum News 13 weather experts will always keep you ahead of the storm with the fastest and most detailed information, plus the context you need to be prepared, keeping you safe this hurricane season on your television and on the go with the Spectrum News app.
Some of us waking up with locally dense fog. All of us plenty of cloud cover today. Just a few peaks of sun, at times filtered. But even with the cloud cover, temperatures were back above average. And I've heard it from several of you. It is muggy outside. Let's take a look at the temperatures so far this month, as we have had 13 above average days. Only 2 where we slipped below average. But we are about to stack up several below average days starting Thursday and right into the first half of next week. So a well above average high temperatures today, had plenty of clouds, even had a few showers, a few light showers scoot through Marion, northern Volusia, and Flagler counties. We didn't think it would hold together, but a couple did. So some of you picked up just a little bit of rain, and the rest of us just that cloud cover in place. Now overnight the front approaches, and so we will wake up with a few spotty showers along our front. Not a ton of moisture being squeezed out, so we'll go with hit and miss showers. No thunderstorms, definitely no severe weather. Behind the front, big change coming in the temperatures as we drop back into the 60s for highs on Thursday and Friday. So this blue sliver, that is the moisture. It's a little higher in the atmosphere here, a little higher as far as content in the atmosphere, but behind it, look at the browns. That indicates some very dry air in our atmosphere. That's what we're expecting for Thursday and even for the most part Friday. And you're going to notice this. You're going to notice the moisture being zapped here at the surface. We're going to be very humid through the evening and overnight. Even tomorrow, still pretty humid, but look at the sharp drop in our dew point as we are comfy from Thursday through the upcoming weekend. All right, out at the beach tomorrow, fair to good conditions in the surf. Wave heights are 3 to 4 feet. Sea surface temperatures a little on the cool side, in the upper 70s. Seas will be bumpy at times for boaters. Winds are going to shift out of the northwest at 10 to 15 knots in the afternoon. Seas 2 to 4 feet. Okay, so low 80s tomorrow, so we're back above our average of 78. 20% shower chance, especially late morning into the early afternoon as it sweeps on by the front behind it. High temperatures in the upper 60s Thursday, mid 60s on Friday, low 70s on Saturday and Sunday, kind of varying up the rain chances just a bit as the models still are trying to come into what will be our forecast. And next week, looks like we do start to warm back up a little closer to seasonable levels.
Festival of Trees is a Christmas time tradition, and we are smack dab in the middle of it right now. Spectrum News 13's Allison Walker goes on the town with the people who sprinkle in the sparkle.
Gosh, the number of designer-inspired trees here at Festival of Trees is just overwhelming. But we wanted to know the story behind the very first tree that you see.
Can we make it gather? That?
Dickie Stegall.
That's way too straight.
Giving some direction, hoping to nail these final touches.
It gets really tough around the last day, yes. You start getting nervous.
She's talking about the Festival of Trees inside the Orlando Museum of Art. 50 Christmas trees decorated with every color, texture, and story imaginable. For Dickie, whose day job is as a safety manager of a construction company, creating things like this is a necessary outlet.
It helps me. Emotionally, it helps me relieve the stress. You sit back and you can't believe you created something like this. Hey, it's good.
This is her 7th year designing a tree at the festival, but instead of 7-footers, she's responsible for a 14-foot one this year, frankly, because she's gotten so good at it. This guy is the biggest, and the first one, guess we'll see. Like the theme she's going for, that we're never alone, she has her helpers bringing her vision to life.
Everything that we do every single day, we've got this angel watching over us. Hang it, and that'll create that for us.
On the town, Allison Walker, Spectrum News.
You can stroll the sights and sounds of Festival of Trees every day through this Sunday at 5 p.m. It's located inside the Orlando Museum of Art. The International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions Expo, better known as IAAPA, is in Orlando this week. We got a closer look at the ride vehicle for SeaWorld Orlando's upcoming attraction, Pipeline, the surf coaster. It's a standing coaster mimicking a surfboard to make you feel like you're riding waves. The coaster is expected to reach up to 60 miles an hour. It opens in the spring. This could be the final countdown for the Artemis 1 mission, how things are looking out at the Space Coast ahead of tonight's historic launch back to the moon. Keep it here.
From sunrise to sunset, stay informed with the Spectrum News morning and evening briefings, keeping you connected throughout your day from your team at News 13, providing you with local news that matters to you and your daily weather planners. Turn on notifications in the Spectrum News app for every weekday update. Spectrum News, your community connection, available on the App Store and Google Play.
Small business owners, slow internet is nonsense. You deserve the fastest speeds in the nation. You deserve Spectrum Business. In fact, thousands of independent tests confirm that Spectrum is the clear winner when it comes to speed, the fastest in the nation. Boom! It's that fast. Actually, it's much faster.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
2 things you can always count on with hurricane season. Every hurricane is different.
Vicetron 13 actually able to pick up on those outer rain bands.
And the Spectrum News 13 weather experts will always keep you ahead of the storm.
We are monitoring 2 disturbances in the Atlantic.
Tracking storms coast to coast with the fastest and most detailed information, plus the context you need to be prepared. The weather experts only on Spectrum News 13, keeping you safe this hurricane season on your television and on the go with the Spectrum News app.
Glad you're here. I'm Tammy Fields. Greg is off tonight. Here are your top stories in weather in 90 seconds. Current damage estimates from Hurricane Nicole is north of $520 million. That is the newest estimate from Volusia County officials today. Wilbur-by-the-Sea residents are voicing concerns with the county regarding the rebuilding and permitting process. An Orlando chiropractor arrested for the 4th time on more allegations of sexual battery. Police arrested Agustina Rodriguez yesterday. In each of the 4 cases, he is charged with sexual assault, a first-degree felony, and battery, which is a misdemeanor. Orlando police is asking anyone with information about Rodriguez to come forward. Governor Ron DeSantis is expanding the Purple Star Campus program. He says it will grow to 114 schools across the state, including some schools in Brevard County. The program is designed to help children of military families. Right now, we want to talk more about our beautiful warm weather today and how long it's going to stick around. Let's check in with certified chief meteorologist Brian Carey.
Yeah, Tammy, temperatures today upper 70s, lower 80s. We've got one more day ahead, but unfortunately, if you like the warmth, it's going to go away for a while. This temperatures by the end of the week drop well below average. Let's get you outside this evening. We had a couple of very light showers up into Marion County, northern Volusia and Flagler County. Most of the activity now is offshore. Expecting a mostly cloudy evening ahead. Temperatures in the 70s. We are headed into the upper 70s, lower 80s tomorrow, but a cold front means business as we see those temperatures plummet, and we'll check out when we are in the 60s coming up.
Destination Space. That's where NASA crews are hoping to send the Artemis 1 rocket tonight. You may recall the space agency postponed the launch multiple times due to hurricanes and engine issues, but the countdown clock is ticking toward 1:04 a.m. Tonight, team coverage of the historic launch. Our space experts Greg Pallone and Will Robinson Smith are live on the Space Coast. Greg, I know the big question everyone has, is this a go?
I tell you, they really needed to practice some patience with this mission, Tammy. The Artemis 1 just trying to get off the ground. This test flight very critical for the Artemis moon program, and things are progressing very well with the countdown so far tonight. No technical problems that we've heard of. The weather, of course, looking ideal. This is an overnight launch, so folks, maybe take a nap, hop up, go back to bed. Hopefully we will see a launch coming up tonight, Will.
Yeah, I know. I've got my energy drink on standby. We're prepared for a long night because that launch window doesn't open until 1:04 a.m. Wednesday morning. So we're in for a long one, but fortunately NASA says they are right on the timeline, which is exactly what we want to hear at this point.
And they've gone through wet dress rehearsals, they've gone through a couple of launch attempts, so the team really just jonesing to try to get this rocket going and get it all the way to the moon. 322-foot tall Artemis rocket, the Space Launch System, poised at pad 39B for liftoff, as Will said, at 1:04 this morning. There is a 2-hour launch window, so the team does have that flexibility should they need it.
Yeah, and obviously they had a lot to check out between the end of Hurricane Nicole and now. They had a couple of things both on the rocket itself as well as the Orion spacecraft. They were checked out. They were deemed good for flight, and as you mentioned, launch weather looking very good, 80% go.
Yep, and also too with that, no pad damage, so that's a big thing right there. Pad 39B weathered the storm as Nicole came right through. So again, we're waiting on the launch. The countdown continues as we wait into the evening hours for the launch of the Artemis 1 mission set for 1:04 a.m. We'll give you continuous coverage throughout the evening. For Will Robinson Smith, I'm Greg Pallone, Spectrum News 13.
Thank you, Greg, and thank you, Will. Now, if you plan to watch the launch in person, it could be difficult because normal viewing spots like Jetty Park are closed because of damage from Hurricane Nicole. The storm also damaged dozens of at beach access points along the Brevard coastline. You should plan ahead just to make sure that you're able to find a spot early but safely. The ramp at Paradise Beach Park was torn apart by the strong winds and the surf here. 2 astronauts are taking their first ever spacewalk. NASA's Josh Cassada and Frank Rubio began their excursion outside the International Space Station this morning. During the 7-hour spacewalk, they installed brackets to expand the solar arrays, which help power the space station. This is NASA's first spacewalk since March, after European Space Agency astronaut ended his spacewalk with unexpected moisture in his helmet. The next Space Force payload is now in Florida. It's a long name, but it's an adapter that will launch on the U.S. Space Force 67 mission with a SpaceX Falcon Heavy. This will be the second national security space launch using the Falcon Heavy. A specific launch date has not yet been announced. As always, you can stay up to date on all things Destination Space, including our Space Coast launch schedule. That's on the Spectrum News app and on our website at mynews13.com. An equal employment opportunity officer just settled a pay and inequity settlement with the Polk County School District. The former worker filed a complaint last year after she left the district for another role. She says that the requirements for a posted position were changed so that her male co-worker could be eligible for a promotion.
And I said, I can't apply for it because I only have a bachelor's degree and not a master's degree. And it was like, oh, okay. And so, I mean, I wasn't going there to ask for change. That was a conversation we had. And I made that comment and it was like, oh, okay. So if it was like, oh, okay for me, then it should have been, oh, okay for that one as well.
The school district did not comment on this case and instead said that they're proud of the diversity within the district, saying 77% of their staff is women. We're learning about one of the 3 victims in the University of Virginia shooting. He was a Florida native. Deshaun Perry from Miami was killed along with Devin Chandler and Lavelle Davis Jr. They were all active players for UVA football. 2 other students were also hurt. The man accused of pulling the trigger, Christopher Darnell Jones, was a former player and was taken into custody. Air raid warnings sounded across Ukraine after an unexpected shower of Russian missiles. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says Russia fired at least 85 missiles. Most of them hit the country's energy infrastructure, but at least 1 person was killed in a residential building in Ukraine's capital of Kyiv. U.S. officials say missiles also crossed into the NATO member Poland, killing at least 2 people there. A voting delay while one Florida senator is looking to postpone the re-election of their leader. First, though, let's talk weather to see what we can expect for this evening. Let's check in right now with Brian.
Well, Tammy, as we are expecting a mostly cloudy sky, going to be a bit hard for those of us inland to see the Artemis rocket launch tonight. A 90% go. We'll check out who's picking up a sprinkle right now, and the cloud cover hangs around into your Wednesday, coming up with weather on the ones.
I always knew I wanted to be a meteorologist. I called our local TV meteorologist and said, I want to do what you're doing. I want to share that love of weather with other people. We are immersed in it every day with Weather on the Ones. Whenever I'm out in the schools, I talk about how math helps us explain everything that happens in the atmosphere. Sunshine, blue skies. I love taking advantage of all of that. I'm doing what I said I wanted to do when I grew up. This was really the only path for me.
So this one-size-fits-all network upgrade is the best you guys can do?
Better than that. It's the only thing we do.
That's how we know it's right for you.
You're just gonna have to accept it.
Yeah, accept it.
No, you don't. At Spectrum Enterprise, we design solutions around your needs for success on your terms. Because we believe technology only works if it works for you. So go ahead. Be unreasonable.
My mother was always very familiar with her neighborhood, but one day she stopped at the stop sign for much longer than usual. and she didn't know whether she should go forward or turn, and she wasn't even really sure where she was at. It was very unsettling for her.
I felt so much better after my son told me, "Mom, I don't want you to worry or be afraid. I'll be there for you, and we'll figure it out."
You know, here at Spectrum News 13, we are here to help the community prepare for anything that may come up weather-wise. Sunshine, thunderstorms, hurricanes, we get it all. So we have to provide an accurate forecast because here in Central Florida, we pretty much live outdoors. I love going out and enjoying our great parks, checking out some of the local restaurants. Living here just gives everyone an opportunity to be outside as much as we possibly can. Another spectacular day here in Central Florida. I'm Chief Meteorologist Brian Carrick with your Weather on the Ones forecast. It is 5:40 here on a Tuesday. I'm Brian Carrick with Zach Covey. We have been watching a mostly cloudy sky all day long. A few peaks of sunshine trying to sneak through from time to time. At times it's filtered, and at times we've squeezed out a light shower or two, especially up in Marion County, as well as parts of Flagler and northern Volusia County. Right now, some thicker cloud cover as we look back from Brevard County. This is our camera down at Ponce de Leon Landing Park, Melbourne Beach, and we're looking toward the Cape. That thick cloud cover in place. It's going to be there tonight, but a 90% go on the launch tonight. Inland area is going to have a very tough time seeing this because of all the clouds we do have around. All right, temperature-wise, mid and upper 70s right now. I mentioned we've got one little area dealing with a sprinkle or two. Just passed through Flagler Beach. Looks like it's now just pushing offshore from the A1A. And going away. So it looks like a dry overnight for most of us. There will be an exception, a couple of isolated showers working into Marion County in the wee hours of the morning. And this is ahead of a front dropping in. The cold front will sweep on in fairly fast tomorrow. As we get you through about 6 o'clock, notice very few returns on Klystron 13. Not a lot of oomph with this front. It is basically kind of falling apart overhead. It will still drag in the chilliest air we have seen this season. 8:30, maybe a spotty shower into the metro. 11 o'clock, Orange, Osceola County. 1:30, maybe dealing with a shower as you head back from lunch in Brevard into Osceola County through about 4 or 5 o'clock. The wind shifting quickly, and that's a cooler air. Actually, let's just go colder air is going to be spilling in. So mostly cloudy, an isolated shower late tonight. Notice the 68. That will be our high temperature on Thursday. So enjoy the warmth tomorrow if you like it. Mostly cloudy, a couple of isolated showers, but most of us just looking at plenty of clouds and lower 80s.
California Republican Congressman Kevin McCarthy secured the party nomination to serve as Speaker of the House. Leaders held a vote in a closed-door Republican conference meeting on Capitol Hill. 188 Republicans voted yes to advance McCarthy's nomination. 31 voted against. McCarthy will need 218 votes to secure the Speaker role. That vote will take place in January after the new Congress is sworn in. Florida Republican Senator Rick Scott says he plans to challenge Mitch McConnell as leader of the chamber next year. Senator Scott reportedly told colleagues of his intentions after the party failed to win back the majority. Spectrum News 13 Washington, D.C. bureau reporter Karina Capabianca is following this new development just a short time after Senator Mitch McConnell said he has the votes needed to become the longest-serving Senate party leader ever, more than 4 decades.
Days of grumbling by some Senate Republicans over last week's disappointing election results turned into an open revolt when Florida Senator Rick Scott said he will run against Senator Mitch McConnell of Kentucky to be the minority leader. McConnell appears to still have the support of a majority of Republican senators, but some members of the conference say they're willing to move on.
Clearly what we're doing isn't working and hasn't been working for a long time.
Senator Marco Rubio of Florida, who won his re-election in a landslide against Democratic challenger Val Demings, said Republicans should at least postpone their planned vote to select their leaders for the new Congress. We should not have a Senate GOP leadership vote until we have a clear explanation for why our 2022 campaign efforts failed and until we have a clear understanding of the political and policy direction for the GOP Senate moving forward, he said. In an interview with Fox News on Sunday, Scott was asked if he wanted McConnell's job and said he wasn't going to take anything off the table. On Tuesday, he went further, announcing his challenge to McConnell by declaring it's time for new leadership in the Senate that unites Republicans to advance a bold conservative agenda. Scott did propose an agenda earlier this year, but it was criticized by McConnell. One of his ideas called for all federal programs to face a reauthorization vote every 5 years. Democrats said it would put Medicare and Social Security on the chopping block. Scott's initial plan also said all Americans should pay some income tax. That plank was later removed. Casey Burgett with the George Washington University says it's not uncommon for there to be infighting when a party doesn't do as well as expected.
Historically speaking, challenging leaders has not had a good success rate, but the fact that there is that discussion is just showing that there might be some dissension within the ranks there about maybe bringing in a new generation of leadership.
McConnell found some unlikely support on Tuesday from the Senate's top Democrat, Majority Leader Chuck Schumer of New York.
To follow the ministrations of Rick Scott, the guy who said cut Medicare, the guy who said tax the middle class, would be suicidal for the Republicans.
This is the first real challenge McConnell has ever had to his leadership. While some members are not happy with him, Scott faced criticism for how he led the National Republican Senatorial Committee campaign efforts this year. In Washington, Karina Capabianca, Spectrum News.
Hope your day's going great. Now it gets to be just a little bit better. I'm Josh Miller, and this is your Sports Minute. The Magic star player, their dude, the guy, first overall pick, Paolo Banchero, is still day to day. PB did not practice earlier today and has missed the last 3 games due to a sprained ankle. Banchero suffered that injury against the Rockets on November 7th, hoping to get back soon. Cheez-Its, you like the crackers? They're pretty good, right? They'll be the title sponsor in this year's Citrus Bowl here in Orlando. The Cheez-It Citrus Bowl is now what it's called, in its 5th season as a college football game sponsor of the College Football Playoff. We'll be sponsoring this matchup between an SEC and Big Ten school here in O-Town. And coming up tonight on the 360, a big part of UCF football's success is the man in the backfield, transferring back home to the Knights and making a big impact where he grew up. We'll talk all about it and more tonight at 10:30. See you then.
In your market wrap-up, stocks closed higher, but trades were rocky due to worries of the war in Ukraine. Technology stocks led the way on Wall Street. Looking at the numbers on the board now, the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P 500 all ended with gains at the closing of the bell. Admission rates are about to go up at Disney World beginning December 8th. There will be park-specific pricing for one-day, one-park tickets. On its busiest days, the Magic Kingdom will be the most expensive. Disney says this is because it's the most visited theme park in the world. Epcot and Hollywood Studios will also have a different price range depending on demand. Animal Kingdom, however, will keep its current prices. Pricing for park hopper tickets will vary by day, and the price of most annual passes will increase. Here's a look at how some businesses with Central Florida ties performed. Local stocks, including Disney, Darden Restaurants, and Lockheed Martin, follow the trends with gains at the end of today's trades. It is International Fraud Awareness Week. Last year, the Federal Trade Commission reported that a typical fraud case in Florida resulted in the loss of more than $500. Attorney General Ashley Moody is issuing tips to avoid fraud. She says check your bank account status on a regular basis. Use credit cards with added protection. Review your credit report once a year. Never send personal or financial information via email or text message. Shred any sensitive documents and collect your mail daily and set up holding when you're away to avoid theft. Heart of Florida United Way and Valencia College are partnering for a new educational program. Heart of Florida United Way says it will spend $1 million to help low-income students enroll in a trade certification program at Valencia College. Northwest Orlando Center for Accelerated Training is where students will get their certifications. A change in trends, how the threat of RSV goes beyond the younger ages. You're watching Spectrum News 13. Keep it here.
Central Florida Beyond the Soundbite, a Spectrum News 13 podcast that offers a closer look inside the issues, available now on the Spectrum News app.
We are connected, engaged, from the moment we rise. We move. We adjust. We learn, explore, relax, and grow together so we're ready to build a better tomorrow. Stay informed throughout your day with the Spectrum News app, exclusively for Spectrum customers.
The future of connectivity is here, where mobile and internet work hand in hand to create one seamless network that works to automatically block threats. Powerful enough to run smart cities, yet made for you. This is Spectrum One. Internet, advanced Wi-Fi, and mobile working together as one. That's seamless connectivity. That's Spectrum One.
Medicaid and CHIP offer free or low-cost health coverage for kids and teens. These programs cover doctor's appointments, hospital visits, prescriptions, shots, and more. As parents, we get peace of mind knowing that our children are covered if they are sick or get injured. You may now be eligible for Medicaid too, even if you've applied in the past. Enrollment is always open. Visit insurekidsnow.gov or call 1-877-KIDS-NOW. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
My favorite thing about Central Florida is the people, our neighbors, our friends, our coworkers.
There's something so special about those early morning hours, and it feels amazing to go out into the community sharing real, authentic stories.
When you connect with someone at a personal level, there's a trust.
I think it's great to start your day in a way that you feel connected, especially with the morning news. You hear about the weather, the traffic. It's everything you need to get out the door and feel like you're ready to tackle the day.
Your morning news on Spectrum News 13.
Quite a bit of cloud cover today, a couple of peaks of sunshine here and there. Noticed when I stepped outside, kind of filtered sunshine. And we even had an isolated shower pass through in Marion County, northern Marion County, northern Volusia, and Flagler County. Nothing like we saw back on this day in weather history. Remember, if you joined us yesterday, we discussed Tropical Storm Gordon back in 1994. Well, it was on this day Gordon produced a waterspout and a tornado that actually hit Barefoot Bay, destroyed 63 mobile homes, damaged 181 others. Unfortunately, we did lose one life and had 40 people injured out of Tropical Storm Gordon in 1994. Here's the good news for us. I don't see anything in the Atlantic Basin. No tropical development expected over at least the next 5 days as we continue winding down hurricane season. Let's take a look across the lower 48. Pretty powerful storm system coming across the Great Lakes. We've had heavy snow in parts of Minnesota, back up through Wisconsin and Iowa. And now that snow also sliding through parts of the New England states. A little closer to home, the sharp cold front set to bring us a huge temperature change is helping to at least keep us very muggy today and above average, well above average temperatures. Into tonight, we'll go with a mostly cloudy sky, and by sunrise tomorrow, as the front approaches, a couple of showers, kind of hit and miss showers. We'll go 20% coverage. Behind the front, a huge change in temperatures. Let's start with your pollen forecast. I'll share the 7-day with you in just a second. Going to run low to moderate the pollen forecast tomorrow, low on Thursday and Friday. Average high 78. Going 82 tomorrow ahead of the front. We do have a chance for a couple of showers. If those showers move in a little sooner, we might drop the temperature back just a touch, but still going above average. Thursday and Friday, a huge difference. 60s for highs, 40s and 50s for lows. The weekend, kind of variable. We'll go 70, 71 degrees and back into the low to mid 70s by early next week.
RSV is hitting children hard across the country, and now there's evidence of older adults catching the respiratory virus at a higher rate than normal. The CDC says RSV sent about 6 of every 100,000 seniors to the hospital. It's a much lower rate than in children, but for seniors, it's about 10 times higher than in years before the COVID-19 pandemic. The best estimates show about 150,000 adults land in the hospital with RSV every year. Adults at risk for the most severe outcomes are 65 years old and older. The Florida Department of Health in Osceola County is giving out free Narcan kits. Narcan helps reduce opioid overdoses and potentially save lives. CDC numbers show there were 7,200 overdoses in Florida back in 2020, which is the second in the nation. Here's what you need to know to request a kit from the Florida Department of Health. You must be 18 years old or older, at risk of experiencing an opioid overdose, and you have to be a caregiver or know someone who struggles with an opioid addiction. You can pick up a free kit at the Florida Department of Health Osceola County office in Kissimmee. No appointment is needed. Walmart is offering to pay more than $3 billion to settle opioid lawsuits. States and local governments filed dozens of lawsuits over Walmart's reported role in fueling the opioid epidemic. CVS and Walgreens leaders also offered to pay more than $5 billion each. So far, none of the settlements are approved. Any day now, the world will reach a milestone in human history. The United Nations says there will be 8 billion people on Earth very soon. It took 12 years for the population to get from 7 billion to 8 billion, but it's important to note that population growth is slowing down to the lowest rate since 1950. The UN now projects it will take 15 years to add another billion people. Looking at the long road ahead, how residents along the East Coast are looking to rebuild their seawalls before the next storm season. Keep it here.